Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we are looking at making some really quick abstracts in my Use It Up journal. So we're starting off with my small Dilutions journal. This is one I use for my Use It Up journal, which is where I put in leftover bits of paint that I've had hanging around. Obviously I had lots of black gesso left after a project that I painted onto this page. And I just wanted to play around and make some paint marks on my background. So I'm starting off with some turquoise. And you can see I'm using up on the other page too, some magenta and some cheddar as well, making little paint marks. So I'm using I think it's a 1/2 inch brush. It's quite chunky and it makes really great marks. And it's as simple as that, just play. And you know, you might like what you do, you might not like what you do. That's okay because we're going to add stuff over the top. So I decided I wanted to blend some of my colours together. I used a little bit of sky to brighten up my page, and I've decided to use my fingers because I like using that blended look. And I'm sort of drying off layers as I go along, just to make sure that I can sort of keep that really bright colour. If I kept everything wet, it's going to blend together. So this abstract face is from one of the new Dina Wakley stamp sets called Remarkable. I stamped it onto a piece of cardboard I had lying around in my stash that I had poured gloss sprays onto. So the gloss sprays is from a class I did like a year and a half ago. It's just been sitting in my stash. I saw as I was doing this and thought, oh, I'll try stamping this face on it. So I stamped it on, cut it out, tore one edge because it's only got half the face on it, and I didn't like a cut edge, so I wanted to have something a little bit softer. So that's where I got that focal image from. I decided I wanted to add a little bit more detail onto this page, so I put the dots in just using my big Posca paint pen. And this is one of the new collage tissues from Dina Wakley, which is called Painted Marks, which kind of worked well with this page. And over the large area of paint I had on here, so obviously that piece of blue, I've chosen to put those paint marks. Now the reason for that obviously is because putting the black marks onto the black page wouldn't really work all that well, and pasting the gloss or the tissue onto the black would give make the tissue look white, which again I didn't want. I wanted to kind of blend into the background and look like I'd been drawn on. So by pasting it over an area that had paint on it, I could kind of make it disappear, but I've still got that contrast of the black lines on it. You can sort of see how I've also used the those white dots to lead your eye across the page. So and the painted marks, I'm deliberately putting my image between those two, so it kind of again gives you that lead across the page. Those black marks or the painted lines go up and through the image, so it kind of anchors it onto the page. So it's not, while it is a floating head, it's not necessarily floating, it's joined by those dots, if that makes sense. So it is really important, even in abstracts, that everything is kind of connected in some way, whether that be through lines or through the way your eye sort of leads your eye through the piece. It's really important it's sort of grounded a little bit. To make it think like the had words coming out of its head, I'm doing lots of repeated stamping. So I've got this stamp which says make it happen, and again sort of that grounding thing, I've got it coming out both ends, so it's sort of tying it onto the page, making it really secure where it's supposed to be. I did lots of ghost stamping too with that, in the fact that I inked up my stamp once, stamped it on, and then stamped out the image until it sort of faded away. So you've got lots of different opacities, there's a better word for that, I just can't think of it at the moment, of stamping ink. The final thing I'm going to do to the page is put on this second quote, and I'm chopping up my quote into small words because I didn't want it as one whole block. It was quite small, and again I wanted to sort of lead my eye through the page. So it's no great thing is created suddenly, which I really liked. So by chopping it up into little bits, I can kind of lead it through the image as well, instead of just having this blocky square on my page. I do this a lot with quotes that I have. If they don't fit where I want them to, I just chop them up. So don't feel that just because it comes in one way that you can't manipulate it till you're happy with it. So once it's finished, I'm just going in with my black Stabilo oil pencil and darkening up some areas. My ink pad isn't as juicy as it should be. I need to re-ink it, so I had a few little patches that didn't quite work. So I'm just going in with my Stabilo oil pencil to darken up the bits that should be a little bit darker. And here is a close-up, so you can see the texture from the paint marks in the background. You can see that collage tissue has disappeared into the background. You can see how those words sort of lead through the page and how it all comes together. It's a really, really quick way to create a bit of an abstract. This page I think took me about 18 minutes to do from start to finish. It does help when you're doing these sort of abstract pages that you don't think very much. So by working quickly and just making marks, it really helps you out. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.